Hey everyone, and welcome to Total War Warhammer 2. This is going to be a Mortal Empires playthrough of the game using a metric ton of mods. I am currently running 106 individual mods. Some of those are compilations in and of themselves, and so the actual number is even higher than that. This is largely thanks to Kadrin's mod manager making that possible. Amazing bit of kit. If you are modding the game and you're not using that, I highly recommend you seek it out and get familiar with it. It makes life as a mod player so much easier than the CA launcher and does so much better job. So big shout out to Kadrin and his work on that. I don't want to talk too much about the mods before we get into the game. I'll try my best to sort of go through them as we come across them and as we see them in action and give props where they're due. But I do just want to give a big shout out to the mod community and the guys that put their time and effort into these. You are the unsung heroes of Total War for me. I've been part of the modding community a little bit myself over the years, since back in like Medieval 1, and I do tinker with mods, and kind of a lot of the time I'll manipulate other people's mods just to make them exactly how I want them, but nothing on the scale that some of these guys manage these days. And the fact that they're now into full-on scripting and re-scripting of the game is absolutely phenomenal. Like it gives so much more to these games. I would not have thousands of hours of replay time in Total War in general, but Total War Warhammer especially, if it wasn't for the modders. So a huge shout out, a huge thank you to you guys for continually updating despite CA's best efforts to ruin your lives on these mods, and keeping them out there and keeping us interested in this game and allowing us to make the game how we want it to be played and be so much better than it was originally. So I'm gonna kick this off and get into a new Mortal Empires campaign. I'm gonna be playing in an Empire campaign. If you haven't played the Empire just because they're human, like I didn't for a long time, and you like to play the other fantasy races, I do highly recommend you try out an Empire campaign. As sad as it is that like I'm playing as the humans, I do feel it's also one of the best campaigns in the game. They've got such a good starting position. You have interaction with so many different races early on, and there are so many different directions you can take your campaign. It really does make for one of the most interesting campaigns in the game, and the faction is very well balanced. You can use a lot of different tactical selections within the armies and a lot of different play styles within the same faction, which is also really nice. We're going to be playing on very hard. I have a variety of mods affecting this, which is why it's on very hard and not one of the slightly easier selections, even though I do generally sort of role play to a certain degree in all my campaigns. The battles, similarly, I won't be cheesing or gaming the computer at all while we play battles. I don't like the idea of using my lord to duke an army out of its entire resource, sort of all its ammunition before the battle really starts and things, so you won't see me doing that. I'll be lining up and seeing if I can win the fights with the like even figures, even numbers and things against the computer, and then a legendary chaos invasion to cap things off, probably towards what will be towards the end of the series, see if I can survive it. But it will be a little bit easier because of a couple of mods that are going to be affecting how I interact with the AI in the general course of the game, and then how the invasion interacts with us at the end as well, which I'll explain when we get there. So I'm going to kick this off and get into the game. And just like magic, here we are at the beginning of our campaign with Balthazar Gelt. So we start off in the south of the Empire. It's a relatively easy start, this campaign. We are handed the Arachnos orcs to deal with, orcs and goblins to deal with, and they have actually, as a flip to most campaigns, they are actually in possession of Karak Hern and the dwarf settlement on the other side, and the dwarves of Karak Hern are on the other side of the mountain at Karak Ankazar, I believe it's called. So for this one, I think I'm probably going to try and start some rumblings around the Empire, see if I can't get some of these guys fighting each other. And then my aim will be to confederate with France, get a bit of actual empire building going as soon as we can, and see if I can't fully construct the empire. And but before that, first things first, let's get these greenskins out of our territory. And it reckons this is an even fight. Really? It doesn't look very even. All right, but we'll fight this one on the tabletop. Have a look at some of the units and the graphics and the skin overhaul. I'm running a variety of skin mods. The uniform and heraldry selections for Bretonnia, the Dark Elves, Dwarves, Empire, Greenskins, Skaven, and the Southlands, and I'm not sure if that is compatible with the TB overhaul mod that I've got for those guys, so we'll have to check that later. If we have a quick look at my Empire troops here, we'll see we do have the colour of my Golden Order Solent based troops here, so we're all in our golds and whites, and each Empire region will be in its own colours, which is nice. So they're looking great. Mr. Gelt himself over here, standing inconveniently in the Lord of Metal. He does look cool. You gotta give him that. Alright, let's get this set up to see what's going on. So,
by Sigmar's will! Great swords! Outriders! Bow before me!
Yeah, he's dead for that. That's fine. Alright, we got a decent amount of Winds of Magic for Balthy here to play with as well. So we'll just set up here. We should be able to destroy these guys pretty easily. Yeah, as you say, reshade and everything else does make this look absolutely fantastic, and we can see the reskins, which are, they used to be called Dry Rains. I believe he now goes by Hooverick. So if it's not, the uniforms and heraldry aren't doing their job. They're loading first, so any of the uniforms and heraldry stuff gets loaded first, so we get these nice shield emblems and things like that from there. And then anything that isn't covered by that is then covered by oh, I'm out of range. Is that shorter range on this now? Feels like it might be. Alright. It's, oh no, we just haven't started the battle.
Yes, General!
Well, that's an embarrassing start. Oh, they killed an Outrider. Okay. So, actually target you at the people in the middle. These spiders look cool. I love some spider riders. Not sure about the camera shake. Let's shoot them. Great shame, huh? Alright, back to my side, concentrate on the fight a little bit. So we'll actually take you guys over there. See if we can fight them. Mr. Gelt, so you got. Nice. That's worked well. Got a good brace against that as well. Oh, nice dodge. Nice dodge.
Great swords! No! For France! Our weapons are yours!
Go make sure they don't come back. We will take these guys out. Alright, see, I've got a blood mod on here as well, which allows for a lot more blood to drop on the ground and to stay on the ground afterwards. So we get this really nice, like, you see where all the fights happened and all the people have died. It looks, Battlefield looks a lot more used than normal.
Crossbowmen! Ready to engage!
Some mage action.
Destroy it!
Come on, Balthy, get him. Yeah, stab him in the back of the head.
The Empire ensures!
You guys really don't need to be.
Outriders! Mortar! By my will alone!
Well, I'm going to get rid of those spearmen anyway, so that doesn't really matter too much. Let's see if we can't drop this on our head. Use up some of the... sort of.
Outriders!
Okay, a little bit too much looking around. Not the cleanest of fights, but we're going to drop those unshielded spearmen anyway. They're not great. We'll replace them with some more swordsmen at the end of this turn. I forgot to check if that was active. Okay. Yeah, so I've actually got a custom 2D portals for each of these guys on as well. I didn't remember to check them at that point, but so we get a scepter of stability out of that. That's not bad. 44% magic resistance for Balthy. Take that for now. Just take the leadership. We'll go finish those off as well.
I'll move.
Captives.
You summon me.
So if I auto this rather than fight it, I probably lose them, which won't be too bad. Oh no, almost. We'll disband them anyway.
Follow me.
And another pit fighter. Oh, and a war banner. Okay. So this is from a mod called Rebanner, which changes all the banners in the game and gives them a different, much more usable and potentially sort of lore friendly. I know in the game a war banner was just +1 to combat resolve, but it makes all the banners a bit more interesting rather than just oh okay, I'll stick that on my cavalry for a tiny bit of movement bonus or flaming attacks and things. So as you can see here, you could give this to a melee unit on the front line, or you can give it to a missile unit as well. So much more interesting. And also, I think it makes it so there are slightly less clickable abilities in the game. And alongside that, I'm using a thing called Drink It, which alters a lot of the potions and sort of arcane items in the game that would normally provide you with a clickable ability. So let's say a healing potion would provide you with a clickable ability to heal your character. The Drink It thing provides it with a threshold, say hit points reach 25%, where your character will automatically then gulp down his healing potion and it will heal him back up. Regeneration is set to 300% rather than CA's usual, I think, 75% of starting hit points or 100% of starting hit points that it is. So champion characters with regeneration, such as the vampires and things like that, have a bit of a bonus in this, and really that does help out the evil or the less good factions a little more than it generally helps out the good factions. It's so we won't get, hopefully, if we help them out a little bit, it will provide us with.
Let us begin.
A little more.
Do not waste my potential.
Oops. Let's just get. We can do halberds already? That's different. So, okay, so in closer to tabletop, they've actually reversed this, and halberds are, yeah, and cheaper than the sword militia. Interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that. It's been a while since I played closer to tabletop, so. Okay, so we got 1 unit of swords. So what we'll do, we'll grab a couple of unit of halberds and a couple of unit of archers, just to strengthen ourselves up. I'm not going to upgrade this right now because I'm going to move it over to Steingart next turn. As soon as we get that, we do need to keep it while I build those troops though, and then we will get to work on getting our growth up a little bit. And then next turn we'll go grab Steingart. These guys are going to attack Fort Sol. It's generally a pretty easy defense in here. We get the growth one on here as well. Since we don't really have anything else that matters in here, this thing doesn't suffer from public order change or anything like that. So realistically, the only one that does make any difference is growth. Trying to get this thing leveled up. Trying to get the fort leveled up as quickly as possible and get some better defenders. What I potentially will do, just for some interest and fun, is actually get myself a general in here. He won't have an army, so that's replenishment lords and heroes faction wide. Okay, so I've also got Trebor's traits running, his trait overhaul, which makes all the traits for everybody a little bit more interesting and more diverse as well. It definitely specializes your heroes a bit better. Wow, that's quite a skill. Determined death blow. 5% base weapon damage and armor piercing weapon damage for everyone around him. That's pretty cool. None of these are really what I would have loved something which had just a leadership bonus or an aura size bonus. I don't really want to go with Hunter because he's not. So this guy's not going to have an army. He's just going to be here. Maybe I'll leave it for now. See if we have someone more interesting later. But that's the end of the first turn. So yeah, so you can see like a lot of things are the same, but altered. I guess it's exactly what modding is. But yeah, it's I'd say there's so many ways to just improve things. And here they come. Okay, so one of the other mods I've got going. Like this one is a mod called Pierce's. It's something like Pierce's Better Sieges, I believe, which just alters the way some of the mechanics in the siege, making it a little bit harder, to, I think, to attack. Actually, I think it's geared around making it harder for the player to take fortified settlements off the AI, because the AI just doesn't know how to defend. But I think it also reduces the fatigue. You don't become instantly exhausted just from climbing a ladder, and but it does bolster the amount of damage I think gatehouses and towers and walls can take. So it's not quite so easy just to bash them all down from the outside. Having said that, we're not going to man our walls. We are going to fully utilize the defenses we have up here. Just in case cavalry come for us, we'll put you guys over here with some backup. Once we get a few more units, we can spread out and sort of engage the oncoming enemy in a few more places. But for now, this is a fairly easy way of kind of going about this defense just for the start of the game. Let's come back here. Yep. Yeah. And my good old captain can go down here, lead from the front. I think that's everyone. Start this off. So we have 5 victory points remaining. So that's altered for sure by the mod. I don't know exactly how that is altered, or whether it's now easier to jump and capture that, but we're gonna definitely make a show of defending it. And yeah, this is Helmgart, and just how difficult it would be to get through these mountain passes. It's really damn cool. And here come the savages. We'll just speed this up until they at least get in over the walls. You should probably shoot at someone like this. Okay, let's hold that thought. Are we in yet? Here they come. Mr. Gobspit. So let's have a look at these guys. So yeah, so they're now winded rather than exhausted from climbing up those ladders, which means they'll be able to recover from that and actually be useful in a fight. He's exhausted apparently, but he's just gonna go and capture this, and then they'll let everybody else in, which is fine. If the computer understood that this is how you're supposed to defend walled settlements, the game would be definitely a lot more tricky. Because letting them get up onto your walls and then shooting the hell out of them is definitely the fastest way. And here we go. Okay.
Which target, General?
You can definitely choose your targets now. And we'll see these guys start to open up as well. Captain's gonna get smacked. cracked into, but they're already broken. It's pretty easy going. And these archers need to be set on guard mode so they don't do what they were just about to do and run away from someone who can't even reach them. Okay. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Moving! Heading out! Missiles ready! Crossbowmen! Sigmar guides us! I call the rest! Sigmar guides us! Yes, my lord!
So my captain actually might go down here, but that doesn't really matter. I'll get these guys back involved. Shoot the archers because they'll stop short. And who have we got? Okay, so they've run around the side, but they've run straight into my spear wall, and they are gonna get taken apart by my spears. And we can see that blood mod looks awesome. He actually really does look like you've got proper blood being spilled over all these guys when you're hacking each other to pieces in close quarters like that. Same down here, we got some dead orcs and my poor dead captain. He'll be back. He'll be back. But you see that that not being exhausted makes a huge difference. These guys taking way less damage than they potentially would normally. Since they're going up here, we are going to come and keep
ready for war! Formation, march!
These balls on this side actually got in as well. Let's move you guys down here.
Our weapons are yours.
Bring some great swords over. Since we now have this guy.
Ready for war!
Now you can actually change sides.
Yes, sir. Quickly. Crossbows ready, General. Understood. Moving now. We are Sigmar's heirs.
Okay, so they've actually done a bit better than they often do here.
Quicker!
Let's get you guys over. What we'll do, well, just target you at the ground here and have you shooting at the ground. Just sit in and watch some carnage.
Swordsmen! Take the ground! Charge! We are Sigmar's heirs!
The boss making a big mess out of everybody. And we break them. I think that's probably our losses. No, we just break these 3 big units. That's okay.
By Ulrich's wrath! Armed and ready!
There we go. Now we break them.
Mortar! Detachments move!
But they definitely made it further in than they would have in vanilla. In vanilla, it would have just been, they would have all died here. They would have been moving so much slower with reduced defenses from being exhausted, and they would have just all got absolutely massacred by my archery. whereas they actually made it up to the second tier. They're trying to get to the victory points. You see, they're probably exhausted now. No, only very tired still. This one's exhausted. You see the difference in the speed they move at this point. Like if they were running up this hill at that speed, they just get taken apart. Alright, we'll leave him alive for next time and end the battle. As I say, we'll probably put a general in there once we get one with some interesting traits for being a fort general, as he will be. I'm running the game with no what's it called? No additional upkeep, so that I can use generals to helm garrisons and things like that without my armies becoming insanely expensive. And again, that's part of the reason why I then play the game on very hard, so just so that even though I've got a few more troops, the computer can then generate a lot more troops and fill out a lot more armies. And with the unit caps that I have in place through the CTT mod, it does mean that you end up with a lot more armies of a lot more varied troops, where core troops become the mainstay of a lot of the factions, and you won't come across absolute insane doom stacks, which I just don't like playing against. There we go, we fended them off. They'll probably bounce off here a couple of times. It definitely used to happen in Helmgart, so there we go. It's here.
Let us begin.
So we'll
By
run
the
over
comet.
to Steingart.
No peace, just war.
Who should we actually give that to? Is that worth? Is it worth giving it to these guys? Or do I give it to? Do I give it to the mortars? Or my crossbowmen? Scent-wise, it's going to be better on these guys. Oh, we'll give it to the great swords. That's fine. Alright. This shouldn't be too much of a fight. The orcs and goblins won't hang around once they start taking artillery fire and damage from my ranged units. So the other things to consider with using generals as kind of settlement commanders is I've turned off the procrastinator trait, which I absolutely despise, which gives you negative modifiers for sitting in a settlement for too long. So I can just use my generals to camp out
For the comet! Ready!
and enjoy the time as a full-on garrison
Crossbows
commander.
ready, General! We are Sigmar's heirs!
Alright, how are we gonna?
Halberdiers! Great swords! For Heldenhammer!
I am supreme.
Outriders!
And one of my war machines just exploded. So that's part of the, I believe, CTT mod, where you actually get war machine misfires now. So that war machine has exploded, killed two of its crew, and covered this one, which is lovely, very useful.
Great swords! Yes, sir! Quickly! By Sigmar's will! endures!
The Empire endures!
Can't take out these units.
Haste gold magic.
Pretty good going.
Halberdiers! At your service!
By my will alone! Armor melts.
Outriders! Go! Sigma calls! Sigma commands! Yes, sir!
War, but not going to make any
Ready
difference.
for war!
Armed and ready!
Feel my fire.
Yes, sir!
Yeah. Easy, easy. I wouldn't mind if all the additional blood was a tiny bit darker. Maybe I can get in and alter the tint on that slightly. But it definitely does make me feel better when the entire battlefield ends up covered in blood, rather than vanilla game where you see these big gouts of FPS killing blood every time someone gets shot by a single arrow, and then within seconds there's nothing to show for it. So we've got a Ranger standard, which provides Strider, extra 10 movement speed, and you can hide in the forest. You guys. And we will occupy Steingart and get ourselves a province. And what that will probably have done is upgraded our name from the Golden Order to Solent, as we now have our very own province to call home. So we are now, just like these guys would be Averland, we are now Solent. So that's part of that upgrading mod. And the first thing I'm going to do is move this over to here, so I can do something else. My capital. And then we'll get, what do we want to get? Bonus damage. So we have the cloak. We have this open. I do have a mod here for immediate. So maybe that'll be next turn, because it doesn't look like a quest actually triggered. So I think I should just get this next turn. I've turned off quest battles. I've pretty much played all of them at this point, and while they can be some quite interesting fights, for me I don't like the idea that I have to go and get my unique item when I'd rather just be on par with the AI, and I have never obsolete legendary lords as one of the mods that's running. So all the AI legendary lords around the map will be gathering experience at least as quickly as I'm gonna manage, if not faster. So I'm never gonna end up, when I finally sort of get over to somewhere like Ulthuan, I'm not gonna have my level 30 Balthazar Gelt suddenly running into a level 5 Tyrion because the game didn't actually do anything with him. So quest items just become things you get as you level up, which is fine. If we see here, we have a new mount for Balthazar Gelt as well. Just riding around on a horse didn't seem very legendary, so there's a nice mod out here that gives him a golden Imperial Pegasus to ride, which is which should be fun when we get there. Or what level that's at? 16. Okay. Let's just go for the Golden Hounds. Cause some mayhem in the Orcs and Goblin ranks. And we want as much growth as we can to start with. Let's see if we can get something going. Wissenlander, do you want to
Speak
trade
briefly.
with us?
I
Or
can see your
at least
life draining away.
non-aggression. No, you don't even want to be not aggressive. We definitely don't want a trade agreement. Anyone else?
All right.
Raven.
I'm not sure if
Are
I
you-
want to cut a deal with you
House.
or just catch.
Never.
Nope. Okay. What do they like and dislike? They like that we're at war with the orcs. We're probably going to have to end up being at war with vampires. Okay, so yeah, they're all happy that we're fighting against orcs.
To battle?
What about the
Step forth.
What
True
about-
friend of the ungrown clan.
Clan
Nigh.
Angren? No, you don't want to be friends either. You should be happy that I'm fighting both sets of orcs. Yeah. Alrighty. What we might want to do is... Oh, I can't get myself a wither yet. Still gonna have the same guys for a few turns. It's fine. He definitely wouldn't be a terrible. All characters' wound recovery time is reduced, and replenishment percentage for lords and heroes faction wide. Have a surgeon on standby in Fort Sol. Could definitely do that. Quite expensive though. I was hoping for one of the cheaper options. Kind of hoping that I'd get a cool huntsman with like a leadership bonus for the entire army or something like that. So I would use that, but the underway is actually disabled around all the fort passes for here and Ulthuan, so you can't bypass the forts easily using underway stance or the world routes and things like that. He would be a hell of a leader for a hunting party to go hunt orcs in the Badlands though later. But that'll do for now. We'll move on. So far no one seems to have gone to war, or at least no one I can see has gone to war with each other. So I do have a mod that... Okay, so I get the quest, so I think that is actually not working as intended. I was hoping that would just give me the items. Maybe I have to get to... Interesting. So there was a mod, it's now outdated, that would, rather than this, would just give you the item.
Do not waste my potential.
I'm wondering if now I maybe have to go through the quest chain, I just don't have to fight the quest battle. So maybe we'll do that. Still not too bad. It's could be worse. Building here. We could get outriders. We don't really want to do that yet. We want growth. We'll replace that later, but for now we'll just get some growth going on. Get Steingart another level.
I am the supreme patriarch.
It's kind of frustrating not being able to buy. Oh, okay. So we have the elect account state troops. And here you can see these are... This is how... that should reset itself after a few turns. To the right numbers. Apparently there's a slight... an interesting thing with them. Oh, the other thing that I need to do, which I haven't done yet, I need to just go through and configure my various mods. I should have done this on turn 1, but we can do it now. So we'll see. I've got Skarsnik is actually in Barak 8 Peaks, not where he normally is. So we have the Gates of Chaos, which allows Chaos armies to spawn from their gates when they leave them in raised settlements. So there's a 10% chance of them spawning a maximum army size of 14. But we're also going to let Beastmen spawn from their herd stones. That's a visual mod. Tunings are restricted. Yep. So we can. So when you get down to the last settlement, you can force a confederation. Mixu's legendary lords. That's fine. We'll take off iffy names. Try that. See what some of them come up as. Fine. Okay, so here we go. So this is the recruit legendary lords. Yeah, I want that one. So at the moment, preference level 1. So recruiting defeated legendary lords would go to me first. But what I'm actually going to do is change that to relation based as the very first one. So the faction that had the best relation with that legendary lord will get to first crack at recruiting them. He'll go and join the faction he likes the most after he's defeated. And then we'll go to factions met, and then we'll go to major factions, and then minor factions. And then after that, we will do... Really doesn't matter. So, yeah. So, most likely to go to people they like, and they're available to me and the AI. So this just it keeps the legendary lords in the game, but it definitely does. But it doesn't favor me by allowing me to automatically recruit everyone. Removing great power. Okay, so we're gonna make this cumulative, so it just gets worse every turn, and then we're gonna turn these down. So this is when you own territory that other people believe should by rights be theirs. It replaces the great power system where you're automatically just penalized against everybody for being a big empire. So in this now, you're only penalized by the people who believe that they should own the land that you currently have. So we'll finalize all of those. Yep. So this is the mod configuration tool. It is in its own right a mod as well, but it just allows the modders themselves a system whereby they can provide options within their mods for you, and as you see, you can just tailor them. And while we've done that, it apparently has become nighttime. So
Let us begin.
we're gonna need some troops for this, probably. I don't really want an army of halberds, but looks like that's what I'm going to end up with to start with. It's fine. We'll get a couple more. Yeah. We can always get rid of them later.
I am ready. Are you?
Yeah, here you can see, so these are all core units. The special ones have little blue diamonds, and then rare 2 blue diamonds, and the rares have three of these diamonds, and I think this will go to 10 and 6, or 10 and 4, maybe 10 and 6, I think is how it works out in the end. So you can have up to 5 rare units and 2 epic units within an army, which just keeps things keeps things a lot more balanced. They look a lot more like Warhammer tabletop armies, and keeps the games feeling less like a Doomstack charge, which is nice. Maybe I'll put some free company militia in here. These guys could be quite useful. I do want to kind of keep making money for the moment, though. It's fine. We're gonna go take this. Okay. So you see, as we get on, faction garrisons are actually tailored to the buildings you construct in the place. Obviously, there is the usual walls and garrison structure within there as well, but if you build more for building armies, you'll get a bigger garrison. So Beastman Rising is part of the Beastman Expanded pack. Can't remember what it's actually called. May just be called the Beastmen or something like that. Beastman Rising. Here we go. Rise of the Beastmen Revisited. Just allows Beastman invasions in the mid-to-late game. So basically, what this does, this expands on the CA. The CA version, where every so often, if a defeated Beastman horde is allowed to respawn. So if you say you kill off Kazrak One Eye and his warhead later on in the game, if you've got a nicely defended empire and all your troops are on the front lines, he might just prop up in a forest in the middle of your empire somewhere and start causing havoc, which just provides a little bit more dynamic gameplay towards the later part of the campaign, when it can become a bit steamrolly if you don't have things like this. So we're going to definitely turn that on. And now we have our fields complete. We'll get them up to level 2, and then how long before we get? So we get a turn surplus point in 1 turn, and then we can upgrade this. Okay, but for now, let's just go and lay siege to here.
Patriarch.
And that is exactly what we're going to do, because he's definitely going to come out and try and kill me with quite a lot of troops. That would be probably quite the fight. So, how many do we need? 1, 2, 3. There's plenty. Okay,
Ulrich's will.
and Fort Sol is ready to be upgraded. So we'll start that, even though I think these guys are going to attack again. Maybe they'll leave it another turn, but they'll definitely get there before this gets upgraded, so
You're making me angry.
that's fine. We won't have any trouble fending them off. And still waiting for the ability to get a hero. And then we gotta clear these out and take this mountain area, which would be good. How are the vampires getting on? Oh, Mordheim is still ruins. No one up here seems to be at war with anyone yet. Everything's sitting there quite happy. No one's really doing anything. The Imps are not marauding around too badly yet. We'll just click and carry on. So I realise this is a little bit slower as I explain a lot of these mods, rather than just getting on and playing my game. They are coming out to meet me. So we'll see if we if we get beaten back here or not. This could be close, actually. I'm definitely gonna have to soften them up as they come in, but then we'll see how much we get on. Okay. So, what I don't want them doing
By
is
Sigmar's will!
getting through the trees. So I
Halberdiers!
think we will just create a solid line of halberds,
For the Empire!
and then we'll have
endures! Swordsman!
line behind,
Crossbows ready, General!
the crossbows in the middle,
Take
and then
aim!
we'll have archers.
Ready! Sir! Sigmar calls!
So what he will probably do actually is try and flank me.
The Empire endures!
We'll let them come through into that second line a little bit.
Standing by!
Very pretty. We do like being symmetrical.
Halberdiers!
I am supreme!
Go in there. And then these guys are gonna go over here. Start shooting early on. Okay.
Ground quakes! We obey. Go!
Still killed one.
Michael Moraz! Taking position! Take targets! Sigma calls! Yes, my
Get you in the
lord!
trees. Because you can actually hide in the trees. You have the special banner that allows it. Okay. Let's have a nice hit on it. Here. Oh, look at that! Blood everywhere. Blood in a nice big circle. What we like to see.
Volan staff! Haste gold magic!
Good solid work there.
Orders! No lingering!
Sides.
Ready to fire!
Kill them.
By Sigmar's will!
Kill them. Everybody gets to be on chase duty.
Crossbowman!
You're on don't skirmish duty. Oh, apparently archers don't have a skirmish ability.
Outriders! Halberdiers! Sir!
Balthazar Gelt! I am master of Shabbat!
Outriders! Water!
You know what I want to aim at? Probably that one.
Outriders! We serve the Emperor! Loaded, sir! By Ulrich's wrath! We obey! At speed! Go! Yes, General! Outriders! Halberdiers! Formation! March! For Heldenhammer! Go!
Ulrich's wrath on them! Feel my fire!
General! At speed! Outriders! In the name of the twin-tailed comet! Sir! Mortar!
For
Okay, time for some golden outs.
They will never move again!
There we go. Oh, they went kind of the wrong way in the end, but some reasonable damage.
Halberdiers! Ready for war! Heldenhammer! Faster! We are ready! Yes, General! For Heldenhammer! Ready for war! Missiles will fly! Quickly! For the Emperor! Moving now! Outriders! Swordsman! For Heldenhammer! Great swords! By Ulrich's wrath! What?
This should make a mess.
Armor melts.
We are ready! Sigma calls! Fighting range, sir! Missiles at the ready!
Get my crossbowmen some experience.
Happening!
Get you guys in here.
We are Sigma!
You guys in here as well.
Outriders!
And then we can just start running people
Blades
down.
ready!
Some
Prepare
of
for
the orcs
combat!
first.
Charge! Great swords! Prepare for combat! Happening!
There we go.
Ready for war!
Get a nice big bonus. Hey, you go to 2 stars. You guys are up to 3 already. That's nice. Alright, let's just fast forward as we run some of these guys down. Make taking the province a bit easier afterwards. Guys, we go get them. That's fine. Okay, there we go. All right. And I think with that one, with the end of that fight, I am going to wrap this opening episode up. I know I didn't get as far into the turns as maybe I would have liked, but hopefully it gave you a bit of an overview as to some of the mods that I've got running, a little bit of what they do. We'll definitely come across more and more as we go through this playthrough. And hopefully we'll be able to speed things up a little bit, and I will play a bit more of the game rather than talking quite as much as I have been. We'll just get ourselves back to the map and the end of this turn. Hopefully those other orcs don't attack me and force me to fight again before I can wrap this up. It has been an hour now, so we'll try and keep it where we are. The mods don't really affect my FPS very much, but they definitely do have a bit of a hit on the loading times, especially coming back into the campaign map because of all the graphical mods and the different things I've got going on. Okay, so we killed 6 of the units and did a good deal of damage to the rest. We should be able to take that next time. Don't attack. Okay, good. They're going to wander off and do something else. Perfect. And we got an apprentice wizard, which gives us magic reserves, which is good. Okay, so we will leave this leveling up and everything for next time. I'm going to go ahead and save my game. And what we call this, we can call this YouTube mod madness. There we go. And we'll save that. Alright, thank you as always very much for watching. I will get the next episode out as soon as I can. I do love playing these through with mods, and obviously I will continue talking about it. If you have any questions about the mods or about how I've set this up, don't hesitate to drop me a comment and I will do my best to explain things and answer. And once again, a big thank you to all the modders that make this sort of tailoring of the game to the way I like it possible. Always appreciated. Love all you guys, and I will catch you viewers next time. Thanks for watching.